Hey, what's up? I'm Dominique, and if you want to learn how to blend your eyeshadow like a pro, you've come to the right place. Here at Looks by Dominique, we specialize in very pigmented and blended looks. So today we'll be doing a very easy eyeshadow deep dive where I show you the products I use to slay my eye looks, my fave eyeshadow tips and tricks, the tools I use, and everything in between. Of course, this video is beginner friendly, and I'm telling you, anyone's going to be able to recreate this look. I'm so excited for this one because eyeshadow is truly one of my favorite things when it comes to makeup. So sit back, relax, buckle up, get ready, and this one is going to be so much fun. I got some of my favorite eye products right here and I cannot wait to share them with you. So for this eyeshadow look today, we are only going to be using 3 eyeshadow colors in the crease, and that is it. And I'm telling you, this eyeshadow method, you can change the colors to be any 3 colors you want, whether it's a colorful look or even a neutral look. You can do this with 3 colors. You just gotta pick whatever 3 colors you want. So today I'm going to be using one of my favorite go-to eyeshadow palettes that I have not stopped using ever since I got it. This baby right here is Makeup by Mario Master Matte's The Neutrals eyeshadow palette. I just love the neutral and cool tone shades in this eyeshadow palette. I am really obsessed. So of course this is going to be the eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using, but you do not have to use this palette at all. You can use whatever eyeshadows you have at home. So then we're going to pick 3 eyeshadow shades out of the palette that we want to use on our eyes today. You want to make sure that you have a light transition shade, you want a slightly deeper middle shade, and then of course you want to choose a dark shade just to give your look some more depth. So since this palette right here has 3 rows, I'm going to choose 1 shade from each row. And the way that these shades in this palette is named is by numbers, starting from this corner right here at number 1, working my way over to number 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So today I'm going to be using the shades number 2, 6, and 9. I mean, even the 3 shades that you choose can be colorful shades. You could do like a light pink, a medium pink, and a dark pink, or you can stick to the neutrals, whatever you prefer. I'm gonna zoom you in just a little bit so you can really see my eyes. I want you to see everything that I'm doing up close and personal because we're besties and we deserve to be this close. After deciding what look I want to do, I always go in with some eyeshadow primer. And for my primer, I honestly use concealer a lot. So today I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. And I find that a really good full coverage, kind of on the thicker side concealer works best for priming your eyes. You definitely want it to be a little bit more full coverage so it can really create an even base along your eyelid. I really love this concealer because it works beautifully as a concealer and an eyeshadow primer. I mean, this is like a little 2-in-1 duo right here. And you can't go wrong with a multi-use product, that's for sure. Next, with my concealer brush, I'm just blending it all out on top of my eyelid. And I really just want my entire space of my eyelid to be nice, even, and full coverage. When I'm blending out this concealer, I'm making sure to bring it all the way up to my eyebrow, and I'm also bringing it into my inner corner of my eye as well. And of course, I'm flicking it out towards my temple at the outer corner of my eye. Now I'm gonna put you on to the most amazing product. If you want the best brush cleaner on the market, you have to try the Cinema Secrets brush cleaner. This stuff right here is a quick drying makeup brush cleaner that you can use every single day, and your brush will dry literally in 5 seconds after using it. So it's the perfect way to quickly switch the colors on your brush. Just watch, I'm gonna demonstrate with this little eyeshadow brush right here. I mean, as you can see, it's very dirty, used, and loved. The way that I use this personally is I pour the Cinema Secrets into a little spray bottle, and then I spray the brush with like 2 sprays. I take my designated wiping off makeup towel, and I just create little circular motions over the towel, and everything on this brush is seriously about to come off. So now I'm just gonna spray one more time, do the little rubby rub, and now you can see that this brush looks so brand new and clean. I'm not kidding when I say I use this every single day. I've gone through multiple bottles of this, and I do not know what I would do without this. Now it is time to put these babies onto the eyes. So the first brush that you want to use with the first shade that you apply to the lid is always your biggest and fluffiest eyeshadow brush. The one I'm going to be using today is from Sigma. This is the E25 tapered blending brush. So I'm just going to pick up some of shade number 2 onto this brush. I'm going to tap off the extra because we don't want too much. I'm going to place the brush with the eyeshadow directly into the crease, and I'm going to start it more on the outer corner. Then I'm going to move it in towards my inner corner and back to my outer corner, kind of to make some windshield wiper motions. And I'm going to keep doing this step, and I'm going to do it kind of fast too. So the first shade that you apply to your lid should always be the lightest shade that you're going to be using for your eyeshadow look. And the first shade that you use is typically called the transition shade because you're going to be transitioning some other shades underneath it. So with this shade, it's very important to bring it all the way up to your eyebrow. If you only kept your eyeshadow on your eyelid, you're not going to see it when you look forward, and it's not going to look that blended because you're going to try to squish all the color colors in a very small area. So be nice to yourself and give your entire eye some space to work with. And I always start in the crease, and then once there's nothing else really on the brush, that's when I'll bring it up to the eyebrow, because then you'll be blending out any harsh edges from your first shade, and it's gonna look so seamless and so smooth. I've gone in with about 3 layers of this shade. I mean, transition shades, you're really not supposed to see it that much, which is why it's okay to bring it all the way up to the eyebrow. We're definitely not going to be bringing any other shades all the way up to the eyebrow. Again, when there's nothing really left on your brush, at the outer corner of your eye, you can take the shadow and flick it up towards the tail end of your eyebrow, and that's gonna create a really nice eyeshadow shape. So now keep this brush that you just used on hand and do not use it for anything else. This is gonna be your trusty blending brush right here throughout the entire look. Of course, I'm just gonna spray my next brush, and I'm really getting it prepared for this next color. The next brush that you wanna use with the medium tone shade is a brush that is slightly smaller than the first brush that you used. This is the PC10 brush from Peaches and Cream. And if you don't know what Peaches and Cream are, they are a UK-based makeup brand, and their brushes are seriously incredible. And I mean, they look so cute with this pink handle. I love them. I'm just dipping into shade number 6, and of course I'm tapping off the extra because we don't want too much. You already know this. And then I'm gonna do the exact same blending steps. I'm going to start by stamping the shade on the outer corner of my eye, and then I'm gonna bring it in towards the inner corner of my eye, and I'm gonna keep it directly in the crease. With this shade, you do not want to bring it all the way up to the eyebrow. And it's also very important to hold all of your eyeshadow brushes at the back of your brush so you're not applying too much pressure if you were to hold it like this. Holding it like this is going to create some really harsh and intense lines, that's for sure. Holding it at the back of the brush though is really going to help your wrist give it some fluid blendy motions to help give you no harsh edges at all. So I'm just going to sit here and do this step until I build it up to the pigment that I like. And I'm really making sure to stamp this eyeshadow shade at the outer corner of my eye before bringing it into my inner corner. That way most of the pigment is going to be concentrated at the outer edge and not in the inner corner. And honestly, I have had the most craziest morning today ever. I just came back from a mini vacation. I went back to Chicago to visit my family because that's where I'm originally from. And today was my flight to fly back to Florida. And every time I go back to Chicago, I always bring my dog with me. She flies in her little airplane bag underneath the seat in front of me, and she is the most perfect angel. Until today. Yep, that's right. I mean, my flight was early enough. It was like a 6:30 a.m. flight, and I had to leave for the airport at like 4 a.m. And that's already bad enough because I'm not a morning person. Literally 10 minutes before we leave to go to the airport, we let my dog outside so she can go to the bathroom before we go. And next thing you know, we bring her inside, and guess what? She got sprayed by a freaking skunk 10 minutes before I had to leave to the airport. 10 minutes. And now I'm panicking because I'm like, how am I gonna bring a skunk sprayed dog on a plane? I mean, imagine sitting next to me on the airplane with my dog smelling like a mini skunk. Not only did the entire house end up smelling like skunk, the car smelled like skunk. We had to give her a turbo speed bath so that she was all clean, and yet you can still smell the skunk on her. So after this look, I'm about to go and give her another bath because I cannot stand it any longer. I thought that I was literally about to be kicked off the plane because people were gonna be like, why do we have a skunk on the plane? Like, who is it? Luckily, everything was okay when we got to the airport because she's in a bag, so hopefully the smell was like contained in there and it didn't spread as much. But when she moved in the bag, I definitely smelled it a little when I was on the plane, and I was like, I hope no one else can smell this. Oh, and to make everything worse, you know, we're getting off the plane. I have to grab my overhead luggage that's in the luggage bin. I grab it and then I go to put my dog on my shoulder, and at that very moment, I've got an alarm in case I get kidnapped on my purse. My dog's bag hit that alarm when I was pulling her up onto my shoulder, and the alarm goes off. It falls to the ground, and the only way to make it stop blaring is to put the prongs back in the alarm. So I'm scrambling on the ground trying to pick it up, and I'm like trying to put it in there because everyone's like looking at me. They're like, what is going on? Why is there an alarm blaring? We're all just waiting to get off the plane, and now there's this alarm blaring, and it's like 9:30 a.m. and this is all happening, and I'm like, why today? So yeah, I've had myself a day, I've had myself a morning, but here I am. You know, a little makeup therapy never fails me. It always makes me feel better, so that is why I am here today. So remember when I told you to keep that transition shade brush on hand? Well, I hope so, because now is the time you're gonna need it again. So I'm gonna dip back into the first shade that we used, and very lightly, I'm just gonna dust it over the edges of that second medium shade that we just applied, and we're gonna get rid of any and all harsh edges at this step. So take your time when you're blending out out your eyeshadow, it's very important to take your time and do not stop until it's blended. I mean, do you see this right here? You can see that there are absolutely no harsh edges at all. And it's all thanks to this very fluffy transition shade brush. And even after we apply the next shade, I will be doing it again, so be prepared for that as well. So you can see so far that this eyeshadow is just so simple, so soft, and it's perfect for every single day. But if you do this exact eyeshadow method with any other colors that you have, you can get a million looks out of using just these steps. I mean, every time I do my eyeshadow, I'm like, what 3 shades am I going to be using? I need a light, medium, and a dark. Even for my colorful looks, I do the exact same thing. It's really just how I do my eyeshadow, okay? Now, the last brush that I'm going to be using, this is the smallest brush, and this is the Peaches and Cream PC34 brush. So it's going to be very precise so we can place the darkest shade exactly where we want it to go. And you guessed it, we're going to do the exact same steps. So I'm going to stamp the darkest shade on the eyelid. And then once we got some good depth and a good stamping going, I'm going to bring it in towards my inner corner. I'm going to do some windshield wiper motions to help blend it all out. And I'm going to keep it lower than that second shade that we just applied. And I'm just going to keep doing these steps until I get it to the pigment and the depth that I like. Now I'm going to go back in with that second brush that we just used. I'm going to dip into shade number 6 just a little bit. I'm going to blend out all the harsh edges of shade number 9 that we just applied. Layering when it comes to eyeshadow is crucial. That's why I've done like 3 layers of each shade on my eye to get it this intense and very pigmented. And now of course with the first brush that we used, the transition shade brush, I'm going to dip into that shade one more time, and I'm really going to give this whole eyeshadow look a really nice and good blending. And I really want all the colors just to become one. Okay, the eyeshadow is looking really nice and blended so far. Lately I have been loving a good matte eyeshadow look. So I'm going to take the first shade that we used, shade number 2, on this flat eyeshadow brush from Peaches and Cream. This is the PC20 brush, and I'm just going to lightly dust the shade all over my lid, and this is essentially going to be my lid shade. I love using the transition shade on my lid so it gives a really monochromatic, cohesive, bright inner corner yet deep outer corner, you know, with the mix of colors. And of course, one more time with that trusty transition first brush that we used, I'm just going to blend out that lid shade just to make sure it has no harsh edges, because we do not know that here. We do not know any harsh edges at all, ever. So there's one more thing that I want to do is I want to create a really big wing liner, because I love a good wing liner moment and I wear it all the time, so of course we have to use that today. One of my favorite liquid eyeliners to use is a Too Faced Better Than Sex liquid liner, and this stuff right here is so black, it's very pigmented, and it stays all day long. And I love this brush because it's not a felt tip, and sometimes I feel like felt tip liners get a little weird, but not this baby right here. This is so good. I love this, and this is so underrated and very slept on, and I'm like, why? It is so good. And the best way to create a wing liner is resting your elbow on a table, looking down into a mirror so you can see your entire lid space, and then you can follow your lower lash line up with the tail end of the wing. So it'll be like an extension of your eye, and that will be a really good placement for your wing. But trust me, it just takes a ton of practice. I mean, I've been doing my makeup every day for like years at this point, so that's how I've learned all of this. And a little tip I always do when I do my wing liner is always start off really small so that when you mess up, you can always add on top and it's already not too big, you know? If you were to start big off the bat, then you mess up and it's gonna be like, oop, you're gonna have the biggest wing liner ever. My favorite mascara is the Maybelline Sky High mascara. This stuff is seriously incredible. I cannot tell you enough. It makes my already very stubby lashes look very long. It does not get clumpy, and the best part is that it does not transfer to your lid throughout the day at all. It does not flake, it stays in place, and it looks perfect at the end of the day. It's insane. Maybelline really snapped with this mascara. I love it so much. It's like my favorite mascara in the entire world. And now I'm back to finish up the lower lash line, and unfortunately I took way too long doing my base makeup, so now unfortunately the sun has started to set outside, so I had to bring out my lights. And these lights are not filming lights. They're literally from Ace Hardware. They're working lights, so I don't really know how I feel about this lighting. So for the lower lash line, you need tiny brushes. So I'm going to use this pencil brush from Morphe. This is the M431 brush. And then I'm going to use a tiny pencil blending brush from Peaches and Cream. And this is the PC47 brush. So for the lower lash line, I always operate in reverse how we did the crease. So darkest goes first, and then we blend out with the lightest. So with this tiny pencil brush, I'm going to take the shade number 9, and I'm just going to run it along my lower lash line. And I'm going to keep it pretty close to my actual lash lashes. I really want this to just be a really tight line right underneath my eyelashes, and I'm gonna do like 2 layers of this shade just so it's very pigmented. And I'm also not gonna go all the way into my inner corner with this. I'm gonna stop it about 3/4 of the way into my inner corner. If you bring it all the way in, you could risk making your eyes look a lot smaller. Now with the tiny fluffy blending brush from Peaches and Cream, I'm gonna take shade 2 right here and shade number 6, and I'm gonna mix them together. But I kind of want more of the mixture to have more of shade number 2 in it than shade number 6. I don't know, I just want it to be a little more brightening. And then I'm just gonna scratch along the lower lash line with the brush. Scratch, 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 back and forth, tiny scratching motions going from side to side. And this shade I could bring all the way into my inner corner since it's really light. If you know me, you know I have to line my lower lash line with some white eyeliner. I do this in almost all of my looks because I love how it makes my eyes pop. I know some people hate white eyeliner in the waterline, but personally, I love it. And my favorite white pencil liner is from NYX. This one is so good. I'll definitely link it down below if you're interested. But I have to admit, when you use a white eyeliner, you definitely need multiple coats to make it look very intense and pigmented. I like this pencil a lot because you can really layer it and it does not come off and it does not get crusty. It's just so good. And it honestly stays pretty good on the waterline throughout the day. Okay, the white liner in the waterline is on and I'm seriously obsessed with this. Now I'm just going to take my Maybelline Sky High mascara one more time and I'm just going to apply it to my lower lashes. You cannot forget mascara on the lower lashes. I mean, that would be criminal. I'm not really sure how I feel about this lip with this look. I don't think it's doing it for me. So I will definitely be changing this lip because this is not cute, honestly. I do not like it. And then after I change my whole lip, we will finally be done. Oh wait, that's a lie. That is such a lie. We are not done yet, actually. I'm gonna take this Benefit Cookie highlighter, and I do this in almost all of my looks. I'm just gonna take a tiny pencil brush, and I'm gonna stamp some highlight on my inner corner of my eye. And this is gonna give it a really nice glitter sparkle effect when you're looking straight at someone. And I do this all the time when I do my makeup. No matter what type of look it is, whether it's a super natural look or a full glam look, I always have to put highlighter in my inner corner. Okay, now the eyeshadow look is almost all complete. I'm just gonna go ahead and fix up my lip and then we will be completely done. Oh yes, I'm loving this lip combo way better than the first one. I'm so happy I changed it. Do you like this lip combo or the first one better? Let me know down in the comments because I need to know. Alright, and that is it. Here's today's super soft glam eyeshadow look. And as you can see, I'm obsessed with it. I do my eyeshadow like this literally all the time. This is kind of like my go-to look. It's very soft, natural, easy, and it looks so flattering on the eyes. And even though this eyeshadow look might not be the craziest eyeshadow look that you've ever seen, follow these steps with any eyeshadow shades that you have at home. You can create so many different looks. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me today. I seriously needed this makeup therapy more than anything in the whole world, especially after the morning that I've had. So thank you for being here and just being along on the ride with me. Nothing makes me happier than a good makeup session. I'll be back next week with a brand new video, so make sure to go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss when I upload my next video. And then that way we can truly become besties. And of course, as always, I've linked all the products that I mentioned in today's video down in the description box just in case you want to go ahead and check any of them out. They're all right there for you waiting to be clicked. And before you go, don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know what is your favorite eye makeup product. That's a really hard one for me. It has to be the Maybelline Sky High mascara or the NYX white pencil liner. So let me know what yours is down in the comments because I would love to hear from you. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me. You're a real one, but you already knew that. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you on the next one. Oh, and P.S. don't forget to subscribe so that we can become besties. I love that for us.